Will you believe अगर मैं कहूँ कि there are still some villages in Delhi, not like house khas villages, but villages like villages where farming still happen. I was so fascinated when I first found that. At first, it feels strange because when we imagine Delhi, we usually think of metro stations, highways, offices, and crowded markets. But the reality is that the land where Delhi stands today was once entirely rural. Long before modern Delhi expanded, this region was full of independent villages surrounded by farmland. People depended on agriculture, livestock, and local trade for their livelihood. Then, after independence, Delhi started expanding rapidly. Government offices, industries, residential colonies, and infrastructure projects began spreading outward from the central belt. Instead of removing these old villages completely, the city simply expanded around them. Over time, the villages became surrounded by urban development. Because of this process, today Delhi officially contains more than 300 villages. Another important reason these villages still exist is something called Lal Dora. In 1908, during British rule, villages' boundaries were marked with the red line on land records. This boundary was called Lal Dora. Inside these boundaries, construction rules were much more relaxed, allowing villagers to build houses without many of the strict urban restrictions. Because of this system, many of these areas developed very differently from planned parts of the city. Houses become dense and irregular, and traditional village layout remained largely intact. But what makes some of these villages even more fascinating is that agriculture never completely disappeared. In areas like Bhavana, Narela, and Najafgarh, large stretches of farmland still exist. Farmers continue growing crops such as wheat, vegetables, and fodder, even though the fields are only a short distance away from highways. So, within just a few kilometers, we can move from skyscraper and metro lines to tractor and agricultural field. This creates a unique contrast where modern urban life and traditional rural life exist side by side.